The last thing I want to show you in this section of videos, HTML Essentials, before we move on to the hands-on exercises, the last thing I want to show you is how to write comments in your code. You've already seen me doing this. I just want to take a moment to provide a little commentary on comments. And comments are important to your code. And there's an art to writing comments. So comments are important because they help you and others understand what the code does. So you'll write code and then 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later, you'll need to come back and do something to that code and you'll be like, oh man, what's all this code do? If you have comments, those comments are going to explain it to you. So you just basically put in your thoughts about what's happening in this one area. Comments will also help you read your code because you'll put comments like, later we'll have like above the fold, and so here's the code that's above the fold. So we'll have a comment that just says ATF, and now we know that's ATF, above the fold. And then we'll have a comment down below like footer. We're like, this is where we're formatting the footer or something. So that's one of the ways we'll use comments. So comments are important to help you and others understand the code, and there's also an art to writing comments. So you don't want to write too many comments, and you don't want to write too few. and you want to write them in a way that, you know, hey, they make sense. They're succinct, they're concise, they're legible. And so that's the art of writing comments, and that just comes with time. So let me just show you, if you've already seen it and you've got it, how to put comments in. You don't need to watch any further. But let me show everybody else, anybody who wants to see it, this is how you put comments in your code. So here in WebStorm, I've got folder 010. I'm going to open up index, and I have a comment right there. So if I wanted to add another comment, all I do is Control/. That's a shortcut. I could type out those angle brackets, the exclamation point, the dashes. You know, I could type all that out if I wanted, but why? Control/, puts in the comment, and Mac, that'd be Command/. Here is another comment, right? So that's just another comment. So that's kind of a silly comment, so I'm going to delete that, Control-Y. And in CSS, the comment looks like this. So I'm going to right-click that tab up there and choose Split Vertically, and that way we could just see each of those. If I needed even more room, I would click this little arrow right there, right? And that makes that disappear. And so here is an HTML comment, right? Notice the syntax on that. And then here is a CSS comment. And so you could even take these little dashes and put them down a little farther. Now I commented out this chunk of code, so that chunk of code's not going to run. And I could bring that back up and put it there. But that's an HTML comment. Here's a CSS comment. It has a / and a star, and then your comment, and then this is what ends it. And I can also take that and move it down like that. So that's how you add comments to code. Same thing in CSS. Control / here's another comment, right? That's how you do it in CSS. Control /. So in both CSS and HTML, Control /, and WebStorm knows which syntax to use. This syntax in HTML, and then this syntax in CSS. All right, so that's how you put comments in your code, and some of the reasons why it's important to comment your code.